What's going on, family? It's your boy Doc. I want to come on, and just talk as myself. Talk as a little Nard, as Leo is Nard, right? Not as all these other alter egos or personas, just myself. Um, I've been harping a lot last 2 years to everybody who would listen, all my clients, myself included, about the importance of central nervous system regulation, right? And like really prioritizing yourself as a main character of your story and doing something about it. You know, if you're not okay, then you gotta make it about you. I don't know any other ways or words to ways to put it. Especially as adults who think adulting only means taking care of people, paying bills, aspiring for great things, setting new goals, achieving those goals, having a task and another task and another task. No time for all that crap. Granted, you gotta survive. You gotta pay the bills. You have to, earn your keep. That's just the law of the land. But you don't have to crash out in doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to get to a place where you're so messed up, you're contemplating suicide, homicide, or anything of that nature. But anyway, I don't want this to be no motivational speech. I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of people just take advantage of other people. I've lived a life where I've been taken advantage of in multiple ways, and then when you call people out, they disappear. They rebuke you. They make you feel like you're the problem, the issue. They want you to be great, but not greater than them. They want you to climb, but don't leave them at the bottom of the hill. The unfortunate part is, most times, when we realize that we've been duped or we're being duped, our body's been through so much trauma that it can't forget. That's not how it's made. So one of the things I've been doing a lot, and I know y'all see it if y'all watching my videos, if you're following me, if you're seeing the work I'm doing with certain clients, like everything I'm doing is based in movement. Everything. And the reason for that is very simple. The body's made to move. It is not made to be still, to be stagnant, to sit doing this or this. Nah. It's made to move, to jump, to roll, to hop, to fall. That's what it's made to do. And when it does that, it helps your mind develop new neural pathways, new ways and trains of how to govern low cortisol levels, which is stress, or heightened endorphin levels, which is mania or manic, or plummeting serotonin in your blood. That's depression, sadness, can be. Sometimes you move fast. Sometimes you just need to move slow. Sometimes you need to pace. Sometimes you need to sprint. Knowing when to switch these gears, knowing when to stop or start is going to help you to understand how to navigate this life. Again, I know a lot of y'all, if you've been following me for a couple of years since I've been posting a lot since 2016, I move because I am going through a lot of trauma, or I went through a lot of trauma, or I'm trying to overcome trauma. I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm not a victim. Most of everything I've experienced, I've caused myself. I take ownership. But that still doesn't negate the fact that I don't want to feel that in my body all the time. I don't want to unconsciously and subconsciously have nightmares or um, epiphanies or, you know, revelations every day, all day, every night, every no. I don't want that. So you move and you stop and you move and you stop. Another thing that is I've learned over the 3 years of doing yoga, right, has been the importance of pranayama. That's breathing. The funny thing is, I really only knew one way to breathe. Growing up in South Florida, playing football and track and all them sports and what have you, I just knew how to breathe fast. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. It's good. It's good to breathe fast. It's good to know how to breathe fast. But it's not all about breathing. I mean, it's not about just fast-paced, rapid breathing. It's also about regulated breathing. One of my personal trainers, um, she's doing recovery sessions with me, and she's teaching me. I never thought to do this. I lay on my back. She's like, inhale deep and rapid breathe out slow. Oh, I'm sorry. Breathe out like. I never thought to do that. Who would, right? But as a person with attention deficit hyperactive disorder, if you believe in that, ADHD, I need that. I need to be able to breathe different, multiple ways. Box breathing, right? Inhale, hold it, exhale, hold it, inhale. Like all these different methods of breathing are so imperative to controlling pain, controlling emotional anguish, controlling plummeting spirituality, or just these epiphanies or these pitfalls you're having. It is crazy how it's simple things we as adults don't really know. In psychology, we categorize it as emotional intelligence. All right, back to my story. So, as y'all may or may not know, I wrote 2 books, Lake Trapper Boys. I got about 5 more in my mind. I just have to get them out and publish them. I have been researching myself and how I think, which is psychology, and the world around me and how it impacts my way of thinking, which is sociology, my entire life. No lie. I knew my diagnoses before I knew what a diagnosis was. And the crazy thing is, when I tried to speak to the adults or my peers or whomever to help them to explain what I'm learning and what I think from a hypothesis standpoint could potentially help me theoretically, got shut down. Got shut down over and over again. Even in my first marriage, I was always told, "You don't make no sense. You ain't making no sense. You're talking too much." Because you're ignorant and I'm educated. But not just her. Every teacher I've ever known, with the exception of maybe one mentor, and that's Eric Love. That's my dog. What's up, bro? If I knew. Everybody else, kick rocks. But the point I'm trying to make is, this is my 18th year of being a therapist. And I have learned through professional development and working with clients and researching myself that we all have something nobody knows we're dealing with. But one thing I can tell you, if you get out here, you get outside, you take in these fresh, this fresh oxygen, you touch some dirt, touch some grass, you know, fight your fears if you're scared of animals and bugs, you know, and you just ground yourself and you give yourself some autonomy, some opportunities to be by yourself. You'd be surprised at what you can learn. You do have the answer. You do have the key inside you. You just have to sit down and make time to research the main character of the story. Who's you? I study a lot of pastors, motivational speakers. I'll even study non-degree, non-titled people who are Instagram content creators, TikTok, or whatever, right? Or local shamans or goddesses or gods or whatever they want to call themselves, which is perfectly fine. I'm not hating, and I'll sit under you. I'll humbly sit under you and I'll listen to learn. And what's amazing is most of these folk, I don't know if they're just regurgitating information that they've heard, which is easy to hear a lot of information, especially now with the influx of AI and everything. But they're not wrong. that's the funny part, right? I had this saying. I knew I was a doctor before I got a degree. I never needed any degrees, even though I got like 3 or 4 of them. I never needed a degree to verify what I knew about myself. I thought that was the biggest oxymoron. I thought I was just damn retarded. Why I need your piece of paper to confirm what I know for a fact I'm born with? It's like athleticism. I know I can run. I know I can jump. I know I'm an athlete. I don't need you, coach, team owner, captain, whoever the hell you want to be, to validate or verify what I can do. No. But again, when you go through your reality, you go through your life, there's always a test, an assessment, another human being's opinion on something that you intuitively or inherently know is factual about yourself, and you take that as gospel. I will see you on my couch. More than likely, you will need therapy, because 10 out of 10, those same people who were lauding Lord over you during a time when you might have been innocent, naive, or just ignorant, but still climbing and seeking mentorship, they were fucked up. They were jacked up. I guarantee you, they did not have it all together. But they projected on you what they thought you needed at that time. We'll call it bad parenting or mentorship or abuse. All those adjectives work. But the real question on the table is, what are you gonna do about it? I have a sunset sunrise routine. What that means is every morning between 4 and 6 a.m. I wake up, I rise. I walk my dog road and bend for about 20 minutes or a mile. And as the sun rises, I just meditate and I reflect and I allow the sun rays to kind of warm my mind, my body up. And I just kind of sit and wait for any type of enlightenment, any kind of wisdom, anything that I need to be made privy to prior to the day transpiring. And after that, I engage. Well, before I engage, I always go to yoga, I go to Pilates, I go hike at Sweetwater, I run, strength train, do something. Because moving your body is everything, especially for a person or people or individuals who have experienced any level of trauma, or you're present going through trauma. Just because you passed out last night and you went to sleep don't mean you're going to wake up a new version of yourself. No, you're still a duplicate copy of who you were yesterday. So whatever weight you had on you last night, it didn't just dissipate, it didn't disappear, it didn't dissolve. It's still there. So you wake up, you move your body, you move, and you shed that stuff off as you moving, you know what I'm saying? However, whatever that is, right? And that's how you win. But speaking of the engagement part, engagement is very important because how you engage is either going to fortify what you did before you went to work, before you took on your responsibilities, or it's going to it's going to destroy it. It's going to dysregulate you. So as I'm engaging, as I'm talking to clients, I'm still moving, and then sometimes I'm pausing. I'm conscientious of what I'm eating. I'm conscientious of what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. I'm also aware of how I'm transitioning from task to task, right? Client to client or role to role. I love music. I always have background music going. And I'll change the music based on the time of day or the vibe that I'm trying to increase. I can feel when I have way too much dopamine in my blood. I'm getting hyped, I'm getting excited. And I'll put on something to kind of help get that excitement down. Now, here's the thing though, and this is what you wouldn't know unless you studied psychology. When you're feeling hyper or anxious, you should not put on slow music. You should not put on gospel music unless it's Mary Mary, right? You should put on something that almost like a workout vibe. And you should let all that energy come up and erupt. Just and then savasana, as we say in yoga. So you should engage in breath the movement, asanas, as we say again, Sanskrit and yoga, vinyasa flow specifically. And then you move, right? You move, right? You move. You do whatever you do. It don't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what it is. You just move. You move. You move. You move, and then you release. Or as Basutanizio would say in Egyptian yoga, lion's breath, that roar. You scream. Oh, Ray Lewis style, right? You know what I mean? Oh, you get it out, you get it out, you get it out. And as you get these things out and as you engage in these practices, you will recognize that you don't need medication. You will recognize that you don't need somebody to sit here and lay on their couch and tell you, oh, when this happens, no, wait, let me turn to page 5. Breathe. You're already doing it. And it's the same if you wake up lethargic and just depressed and just sad. Maybe you can't run. Maybe you can't even crawl. But you can stretch in the bed. You can do some spinal twists. You can do some cat cows. You can roll your neck to the left and to the right. You can breathe. You can roll over and press the music and put on some feel-good Afro vibes or neo soul or I don't know what you listen to. You know what I'm saying? Country, I don't care. Rockstar, I don't care. But do something. Don't stay at a 1 out of 10. Get yourself to a 1.5. And then say, I got to a 1.5. And then when you get out the bed, make your bed. Because if nothing else, you've accomplished one thing that day. And whenever you decide to get back in the bed, it's going to remind you, hey, today was a shitty day. But guess what? You made your bed. You know what I'm saying? I took that from somebody. I can't remember who. I think he was like a colonel in the Navy or something. My food done got cold. You know, I might have this campground, y'all. In Michigan. Overlanding in my truck. Yeah. Come on, doggy. See Rosie down there? Sit up. We had a hard race today. It was actually really hard. But anyway, you can watch it. I posted another video. You can watch that. Yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff. But anyway, get back to what I was saying. And then then you regulate. You do your scheduled rituals. Things that you like to do. Whether it's play a video game or it's smoke a hookah. I don't do the smoking thing. It ain't my thing, but to each his own. A stogie, cigar, or whatever you do. Take your little margarita, your little beer, whatever you do, a wine, or tea, right? It gotta be nothing, or sports drink, or energy drink, or coffee. Read your book. The point I'm trying to make is trauma is real. Illnesses is real, albeit chronic or temporary. But everything has a remedy. You just have to be willing to get out here and go get it. And then when you find your medicine, you gotta keep tapping in. You gotta tap in and keep tapping in. That's why I've been doing Spartan races since 2016. Right? My system got broken, and I had to find some medicine. My medicine was running and working out, as it's been since I was 4 years old. And when I stopped doing it, and I stopped traveling, and I stopped working out, that's when any and everything that has been chasing me catches me. And that weight's too heavy. And that's the part of my journey I'm on now. How do I recover? Well, that's where I'm at. So I'm exploring somatic movement. I'm exploring embodiment. I'm exploring all things that would terrify me, past tense. Some things I can't talk about online because y'all wouldn't hire me as your therapist no more. Nothing crazy, you know what I'm saying? But some things you keep private because you have to explore for yourself. We're all individual human beings, and even though we may have a talent as a doctor or a lawyer or a chef or whatever it is you're doing, your talent and your ministry isn't for everybody. So some things you got to kind of keep secret. And then other things, if you're led to do it, you need to publicize. You need to talk. It also depends on what stage of life you're in. I'm in a stage of life where, it's time for me to go. I'm going inner, and I'm getting a better idea of who I am based on where I've been, and I'm learning how to manifest a reality, present tense and future tense that is fitting with this version of me or the versions of me that I know will be coming to pass relatively soon. And you should do the same. Study yourself and be bold, be courageous about doing your own thing. That's one of the areas where I kind of suck at, which again I'm tapping into multiple different types of practitioners to get there, inch by inch, conversation by conversation, session by session, interaction by interaction, experience by experience. If you are not confident and excited about what you need to do for yourself, why should anybody else? And then the last point I make before I get off of this thing is nobody's coming to save you. But here's the other part, and I just read this somewhere, I don't know. Nobody's coming to save you, which we all know. We all know that to be the truth, right? But at the same time, nobody's really trying to stop you. So think about that for a minute. Nobody's trying to save you, but nobody's trying to stop you. Nobody. I had to think about that. I can't remember where exactly I read it at, right? But And my accent getting thicker because I'm getting tired. I'm getting sleepy. And I'm gonna go up my tent and go to sleep in a minute. Me and Rose and I. Um, but I thought about that thing and I was like, yo, that's crazy because sometimes we can catastrophize and overthink. Oh my God, right? Everybody's conspiring to stop me from being great. But what if they're not though? What if there's nobody standing in front of you in that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? What if there ain't a troll under the bridge that's gonna jump out as you trying to cross it and say, "Hey, I'll take you so." Nah. What if that's only a figment of your imagination? Imagine that. So while nobody's coming to save you, meaning nobody's gonna come and give you that $1 million and say, "Hey, go get a house in South Florida on the water," you know what I'm saying, or you know, rest easy because you can retire. That ain't happening. But at the same time, if you choose to go get it on your own, nobody's gonna stop you from doing that either. So my choice, well, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And I'll be damned if anybody on earth is going to be able to stop me because my mind's made up. All right, enough of my TED talk. Um, Shout out to all those practitioners, all those counselors, all those, goddesses and goddesses and therapists and, whatever you want to call yourself, certified, not certified, degreed or not degreed. I don't give a damn. Shout out to all y'all for putting the work in. It's needed. There's an audience for everybody, right? No need to compete. No need. There's enough love and supply and demand for everybody. Just stay true to what you got going on and handle your business. As is your boy. But if you do need me, you know where to holler at me. You can go to Psychology Today, Atlanta, Georgia, Douglasville, Georgia. You can look me up, or you can subscribe to my Instagram, on my YouTube, all that stuff. It's all earmarked under Bryant Counseling Services, LLC, baby. There it is. So, peace and blessings. I'm about to go to sleep, get ready for my adventurous drive back to Georgia from Michigan. Stay tuned. Y'all know me. I'll pull over in a heartbeat and just go on, be on adventure mode. So, peace and blessings. Talk to you. See you soon.